Oh my god, Pejjy, I can't believe you're making another political video. I'm unsubscribing. I'll never quit watching your videos again. Oh my god, you've become a political channel and I can't do it anymore. I thought it was all about Tesla, all that kind of stuff.
Chill. Relax. In this video, it's not going to get political at all. It's just my views of what I think will happen. Either Trump or Kamala wins, and what will happen to Tesla. That's it. What will happen? What happens to Tesla if Kamala or Trump wins? My realistic take on it. That's it. Nothing political, just my thoughts. Since, we're all Tesla investors here for the most part. This is what I think will happen to the stock and to Tesla under each administration. That is all. So everyone can take a deep breath, relax. Today is the election, so everyone is tense. I understand that, but everyone just needs to relax. Because if we're talking strictly of Tesla, in the long term, neither of these guys matter. Yes, one will benefit more than the other. Now, you guys can choose who that is. I'll go over it in a bit. But it's just not going to matter in the future. It's just a lot of emotions. Everyone's tense right now. It's an interesting time to be alive. But I can't wait for this to be over. Today's the last day, and then we can get back to talking about fundamentals and all that kind of stuff. Because man, it's been a tense ride. And I hope the next election won't be this bad. That's all. Anyways, let's get down to it, guys. Smash that like button if you guys aren't triggered. And subscribe if you haven't already, and let's go. So let's first talk about Trump. Now, I know everyone's talking about if Trump gets elected, it's really good for the stock, but let's look at it realistically. What will happen to Tesla? What's going to happen to the stock? What are the reasons? All that kind of stuff. And I have a whole list here that I'm just going to be reading off. So the first thing, most likely EV incentives will be removed. However, though, along with others as well. Why? I do believe that Elon is going to be part of DOGE, which is the Department of Government Efficiency, right? That's what they call it. And it looks like he is pro removing all incentives for oil and gas, for everything, because it's just unnecessary. And when it comes to Tesla with the EV incentives, which is the EV credits, it's not really needed for Tesla. It really isn't. And Elon has said this before, that, this EV credit is not really needed. It's just, this is mainly for the legacy automakers. And we saw the drama back in 2021, 2022, when Biden brought the EV credits, some Teslas didn't qualify even though they had everything correct. It wasn't for Tesla. It was mainly for other legacy automakers because, quite frankly, they can't make profitable EVs. And the future is EVs. And if they can't make EVs, bankruptcy, right? So this will be cut. Most likely this will be cut maybe a year or two after, if he gets elected, along with other things as well, because we got Elon part of DOGE. As well as, to add to this, the EV mandate will be removed as well, that all cars need to be electric by 2050. I think this will be removed as well. Now, I'm not saying this will not affect Tesla in any way possible. I'm sure there's people out there that did buy Teslas because there was an EV credit, but the market is shifting that way anyways. And yes, the adoption may be slower, but the adoption is still going to be EVs in the long run. That's facts. That's number one. Number two, very high chance that there's going to be no Giga Mexico. For sure. Because of the tariffs that Trump's going to put on vehicles coming from Mexico, from China, because there's tariffs going on. Now, here's the thing. There's a lot of talks talking about how Trump's going to put a lot of tariffs on a lot of things, and that makes sense. I think he will do that. But in the same time, he will reduce taxes, including corporate tax and other things that can put more money into the citizens' pocket. Now, here's the thing, guys. He's done this before in his first presidency, in his first term of 4 years. He's done this before, and there was no inflation. So it's just a lot of crazy noise going on with this. But for sure, I don't think there's going to be any Giga Mexico after this. Because if you're going to put tariffs on it, well, those affordable models, they're better just to build them in the United States, which is the exact plan of Trump. Build everything in the U.S. Why you want to do it elsewhere? Make it just build in the U.S. And with the cyber cab and everything else that Giga Mexico was supposed to do, now you can make it in the U.S. and avoid them tariffs and still sell it for $25,000, whatever the price is, sub $30,000. Number three, now this is my favorite because this is what's going to get the stock go even higher, in my opinion. Because we all know that Tesla is not focused on the EVs anymore. They're heavily focused on the full self-driving and robotaxi. And what is stopping them from continuing going forward? It's regulation. And we all know that if Trump gets elected, Elon's going to be side by side by Trump, not in the White House, but in terms of like, hey man, help me out with this, help me out with that. We're doing efficiency here and there. We have to deregulate some stuff. Now, he's not going to deregulate just for himself. He's going to do it across the board because look, deregulation or having a lot of regulation stops companies from innovating. And in order to be ahead, the reason why America is what it is now is because of innovation, new technology. And if you have a lot of regulation in this way, put into place, you're putting a fork in the road for it. Like, what do you do? Like, okay, I want to get one thing done. There's like so many hurdles to get through. It's not even worth it anymore. Maybe go to another country if another country does a better job than the US. So according to Elon, he's saying that there's a lot of government agencies that have a lot of stupid regulations, and he's talked about it with the SpaceX story and the sharks and the whales and all that kind of stuff, which are just ridiculous. Those need to be reduced. They're unnecessary, and they're taking away a lot of tax dollars from the citizens. Really, it's a lose-lose in the situation. So what he's trying to do is trying to say, remove these regulations, deregulate. Of course, don't remove completely. We need to have regulation to see if someone is doing something correctly or not, and they're not going against the rules. But don't have too many referees on the football field. On the football field, there's one referee. We don't need 10. Because otherwise, every 2 seconds, it just gets stopped. And you're never going to finish the game. Or if a game is going to finish, it's going to take the whole flipping day. So for sure, Elon and the Trump administration is going to deregulate. And this is going to help FSD, robots, robotaxis, his space things, and other things that can help America move forward and be the Goliath that it could be. And this is very good for not just Tesla stock, but for all the stock. It's going to be the sheesh moment. And this is very important. Deregulation. Man, as a Canadian in Canada, there's so much regulations, so much red tape. Please don't become Americans. Please don't let America become, or the US become, a Canada 2.0. It sucks. It absolutely sucks. To do one thing takes, I don't even know how we even got here in Canada. It's just depressing. But that's my favorite thing, the deregulation. Man, absolutely a sheesh moment. One of my favorite. Now, when it comes to the stock, I do think it's going to reach an all-time high a whole lot faster because of less corporate tax and with all the deregulation that's going to happen. On top of that, the good relation between Trump and Elon. Now, here's the thing. It's not a guarantee. Maybe 2 years down the line, they may have a feud or something. You don't know. You just don't know. But looking at it now, it looks pretty good. And I think, not just Tesla, but a lot of stocks could reach an all-time high. When it comes to Elon's pay package, it's mostly going to be approved because you already know this stupid judge in Delaware is like, no, I'm going to, I'll make the decision, before the end of the year, basically saying that I'll wait until this election and then do it. And I do think that it is decisive for her that, okay, if Trump wins, I have to approve it. If she wins, then I don't need to approve it, or I can link it, or I can, make it longer or delay it even longer. I don't know what kind of dirty games they want to play here. But most likely, if Trump gets elected, she most likely is going to approve it. And she better approve it either way, because the reputation of Delaware, we talked about this when there was a vote back in June. It's just not going to be good for Delaware and the businesses and stuff like that. It's just RIP to them. And last but not least, I think Elon's going to get a VIP treatment in the White House or within the White House with all the Republican Party and the government. I also think that all his companies are going to excel within the next 4 years. I think any major business meetings there is, Elon's going to be part of it, whether it's EV Summit, AI Summit, unlike what Biden did not invite Elon in anything, which is just ridiculous. But opposite is going to happen with Trump, in my opinion. So again, no Giga Mexico, EV incentives will be removed, EV mandate will be removed. But in the grand scheme of things, I think Tesla stock will do a whole lot better in the long term with Trump than Kamala, which we'll talk about right now. Now, here's the thing. Either Trump or Kamala wins, the stock's going to do fine. In the long term, it's going to do fine. But it's going to excel with one administration than the other. With Kamala, I think what's going to happen is the EV incentive is going to be in place. It's not going to be removed. So there will be EV credits. It'll be easier to buy EVs. It'll probably actually increase, in my opinion. I think they want to process this renewable energy stuff. I think they would want to increase the EV credits, encourage customers to go more EV, to go more green. I think this will continue to happen. Most likely, Giga Mexico will also happen as well, because there's not going to be any tariffs coming from anywhere, because, Kamala and Biden, they didn't put any new tariffs. I think they actually removed some. On China, they put tariffs with EVs and stuff like that. And those will continue to increase, in my opinion. But EV incentives, EV mandates will continue. Again, this will only help legacy automakers, not just Tesla, but it will also help Tesla indirectly. And Giga Mexico is a more likely thing to happen. Now, unlike Trump, I do think there's going to be even more regulation to continue. And I think FSD and robotaxi may get delayed to this, and just other things as well. I think there's just going to be more government bodies made, more agencies to be made, just more referees on the field that don't need to be there, which that's the biggest thing. That's the major thing. If you're a Tesla investor, that's the biggest thing with Trump. That's it. You know, the regulation part, that is it. Unnecessary regulations. And I think this will continue. And I think Kamala will probably go after Elon and make his life a living hell in a way that doesn't affect Tesla because, you know, as the company, it's about over 140,000 employees and growing rapidly. I don't think Kamala wants to attack that business. And she is from like the Bay Area, so she kind of understands how hard it is to bring a business up. I think she's going to do it in a way where he goes after Elon, but leaves the company in a way that can continue growing. And obviously, because come on, Tesla is the only EV company that's competing with China. And it'd be a very, very stupid thing to do as a president to go after the only company that can actually compete and beat the Chinese brand, especially when you guys are putting tariffs on them and having a trade war with them. You know, it's just not a good idea to go after the whole company itself. Instead, go after the individual. And ways that they can do this is, you know, again, the judge can not approve or revoke the compensation package again, even though we know, you know, if she does it again, it's not good for Delaware. Elon can just get another pay package in Texas instead of Delaware, so that's not even a big deal. But I'm sure there's some other ways that she can make, or the Democrat Party can make Elon's life a living hell. Because man, Elon is pretty much doing is trying to dethrone them and, you know, take them away from power, giving $1 million a day, encourage people to vote for Trump, all that kind of stuff. So, you know, Elon has said it himself that if Dem wins, he's done. He is done. But I think the company is still going to do okay, in my opinion. Same thing will continue. What happened under Biden. No invites to important meetings. EV summits and AI summits. They won't invite Elon, that's for sure. That's not going to change whatsoever. I think Tesla stock could still hit an all-time high, but slower. With more corporate taxes and with a lot of Elon bad news, I think Tesla stock could still rise, but at a slower rate because again, the attacks are going to be so frequent on Elon that it's just going to make any Tesla investor go like, come on, man, this is the CEO of the company. I don't know what's going to, you know, he's not going to focus as much on the company. And so, I don't know, I think it's going to be more volatile under Kamala, in my opinion. But overall, guys, Tesla will do well under both administrations, in my opinion. But one will excel further than the other. That's it. In the grand scheme of things, it doesn't matter whether it's Trump or Kamala. With Trump, it'll just be more faster. With Kamala, it'll be slower with a lot of, you know, headache to go through. But I think under both administrations, Tesla's going to do fantastic. They're going to do well. They're going to hit record numbers. They're going to do amazing things. And I think the stock will hit an all-time high regardless of whoever wins. What's more important here is, again, I'm not American. I'm Canadian. And I have my own issues in my own country. All I got to say is that don't let America become Canada 2.0. It sucks. It's not fun. And this is a choice that the American people have to make. And I hope they make the right choice, whether it's Kamala to them or Trump to them. You know, only Americans know what's best for them. And I wish them the best. My only advice is don't let America become a Canada 2.0. That's all. I just can't wait for this whole thing to be over. So in the meantime, you guys should watch this video of how robotaxis can make Tesla a $10 trillion company, which is absolutely insane. Check it out, guys. You won't be disappointed. Subscribe, guys. Get your Buy the Deb t-shirt. And I shall see you guys after the election. See ya.